Hey, what's up guys? So it's been a while since I've done a vlog, a couple months actually. In this time that we haven't done a vlog, we've been very, very busy. We went to Utah actually, back in May, and we were able to get some footage of you guys, meeting you guys, some footage of you guys out on the runs, our booth setup, and just a bunch of stuff we did out in Utah. So I want to say thanks to Chuck. Chuck invited us out there. We were able to have a good time. Just wanted to show you guys a couple of videos from that trip. Take a look.
Hey. Garrett, Frosty.
Hey, how are you?
Good, you?
Good. So thanks, Chuck. Really appreciate the invite. We didn't get to participate this year, but next year we plan on going out. We plan on taking our Gen 3 out and doing some testing. So we'll hit you guys on the trail and we'll meet up with you guys. But until then, thanks again. Okay, so the next thing we were able to do was we did some big turbo Gen 3 testing. CRP was able to send us some stage 4 turbos. Keep in mind, we only have an intercooler and injectors, 1050cc injectors in order to run ethanol. So with only those mods, the truck put down 540 something horsepower on E85. We plan on taking it back to the dyno and doing some 91 testing, but for now the truck is on ethanol and it's making some jam. It's fast. So yeah, we plan on getting some more mods on it and having fun getting it back on the dyno and doing a vlog for you guys. So the next thing I wanted to talk to you guys about was some of the Gen 2 big turbo components. This is becoming really popular now. We got guys in the mid 500s on pump gas, and we've got guys in the mid to upper 600s on ethanol. So this is really becoming a popular modification that you guys can do for right around $10,000 to $12,000, coming from a stock truck, no tuning, nothing. So going from 350 wheel horsepower to 650 wheel horsepower is a huge jump. And these are some of the components that it takes to get there. So the first thing I wanted to show you guys were the stock turbo adapters. Now check out what it looks like compared to the Billet turbo adapters. Huge difference. In fact, it almost fits inside the Billet turbo adapters. Very big difference. Now, what this allows for is for the exhaust to flow freely out of the turbo into the downpipes. With the stock one, it's a reducer really. So there's going to be a lot of disruption in the exhaust flow. On the exhaust side, you're able to have more flow and make more power easily. Another thing we have now are the new Formline full race manifolds. These really make a big difference in power as well. The ports are bigger, they're higher quality, and they won't crack like the stock ones crack. They also make a lot more power with less boost, I've noticed. So for the guys that are on the stock manifolds that change to these manifolds, they'll make mid 600s at 27, 28 PSI. But changing to this manifold, they're able to make the same power with 24 to 25 PSI. So it's a really big difference in the way the exhaust flows here as well. Now, the next thing we'll look at are the turbos themselves. These Garrett PowerMax turbos come with two different inlets. The smaller stock size, and again, you guys can see is a huge difference between the bigger one and the smaller one. So this is also a restriction. If you're able to purchase AMS inlet tubes or SPD inlet tubes, the bigger inlet for the turbo is what you guys will want to use. And this will also allow for more flow on the intake side. So all of these things combined make a huge increase in power. Another thing I wanted to show you guys were the AMS downpipes. Now this is the Catted downpipe that I always recommend. Very, very high quality. This downpipe also nets on big turbos around 40 horsepower. So I would definitely recommend getting the set of these Catted Downpipes from AMS. They do really, really well. I've had no check engine lights, no issues at all. They install perfect, and they make great power. So this is the downpipe section. So a quick look for you guys to see how the downpipe mounts to the turbo. It really just does this. And here you can take a look and see how important the turbo adapters are, the bigger turbo adapters. So you see how flush that is, you see how it fits in there nice and snug. There's no restriction. It comes directly out of the turbo, the airflow that is, directly into the downpipes. It doesn't step down like it would with a stock turbo adapter. So these are the bigger turbo adapters into a bigger set of downpipes that flow better, create more power. So with all of this bigger piping, you got better intake, you get inlet tubes, you have the inlet couplers, the bigger inlet, it's on the turbo. On the exhaust side, you have the turbo adapter, you have the Formline manifolds from Full Race, you have the Catted AMS downpipes. That's really all it takes. So with those things, on premium pump gas, you can expect anywhere from 520 horsepower to 550 horsepower. On ethanol, you can expect anywhere from 600 horsepower to 650 horsepower, sometimes even 675 wheel horsepower. It just depends on how the truck performs. But really, this is the big turbo setup. That's really all it takes. There's not very many components. On the fueling side, you'll need ID 1050cc injectors for ethanol and for turning it up on pump gas. You'll also need, in some cases, a high pressure fuel pump. And in some cases, you may need a JMS booster pump to provide more voltage to the in-tank pump. But that's really about it. It's a pretty simple bolt-on setup that makes double the horsepower of stock Raptor. So that's pretty much it. I just wanted to take this time to show you guys some of these components. So actually in a couple days, we're going to be heading down to El Paso to Rigo's garage to tune a big turbo setup. This gentleman is going to want 91 octane and he's going to want E85. So I'm expecting on 91, again, 525 horsepower. On E85, 625 horsepower. That'll be the perfect setup. It'll be a great daily driver. And as long as torque is in check, which we do, then it's going to last a long time. So that's about it. We'll head down to El Paso now and show you guys what that looks like on the dyno. We're here in El Paso, Texas, and we're heading to Rigo's now. It's midday here, and we've had like record-breaking heat, so it's 103 degrees right now. In the dyno room, it's probably going to be 110, 115 degrees. And under the hood of the truck, it's probably going to be 150, 160 degrees. So the truck is going to be really, really hot. So right now, we're going to go get some ice and have a weed sprayer that I like to spray the intercooler down with to try to lower the charge air temps a little bit. And hopefully that helps. But I'm not too sure how hot it's going to be. So we're going to start there and maybe give it a rest in between pulls, something like that. But let's go get this ice and prepare this water. Okay guys, so we've gotten a couple pulls down. The first pull actually made some pretty good power. It made 670 horsepower to the wheels, but it made a little bit too much torque. So my goal now is to just get the torque dialed down and try to keep power the same. So if I can do that, then we'll go ahead and call it. But check this out, this is pretty cool. Look at the mileage. That's awesome. So this is a higher mileage truck. That check engine light's gonna go on once I start it. Truck was off. But check that out, that's awesome. Okay, so let's go ahead and get another pull going and see how this one does. So the torque is right where I want it. I'm gonna go ahead and leave it here and go ahead and do some road driving and see how it does, but this looks good. This is pretty solid. This is on a COBB stock location intercooler, by the way. So you can see these do make power, even with higher mileage. So it's pretty sick to see that. So this gentleman, Heinrich, is from New Mexico, but I believe he's in the Clovis area, maybe in Lubbock, Texas. But he drove down here to El Paso to Rigo did all of the work on his truck. What I decided to do was to remote tune the car from the office today on 91 octane, have them dump the tank, fill up with E85, and then come down here for the actual E85 tuning. So that ends up working out better for me because it saves time, and then the back and forth of putting it on the dyno, taking off the dyno. Again, we utilize the COBB fuel pump control to pump out the 91 octane and then filled it up with E85. So that works best. We're able to dial it in on E85 in person. And I was hoping to meet him, but he's out running some errands now. So I guess he'll see this video. Yeah, so I'm really happy with how it turned out. These structures do so well on ethanol. They're very octane limited because they're high compression, twin turbo, and so they just don't like pump gas. You know, you can still make good power on pump gas, but if you have ethanol available, that's where the power's at, and it's safe power. A lot of times ethanol is cheaper, so most people will go for ethanol if possible. So that's usually what I recommend to people. You gotta do the injectors anyways. If you have ethanol available, you might as well run ethanol and make more safe power. So I'm happy with it. It turned out well. What do you think? It's very hot.
Just wanted to say thank you guys for all the support that you guys have been giving us on Facebook, on Instagram, on all the Ford Raptor forums, on Facebook and whatnot. We've got a lot of upcoming events. All the other TORE events in Austin that are sponsored by COBB. We're going to try to make as many as we can for the remainder of the year. And then, of course, SEMA in November. We're going to be there. So be sure to be on the lookout. You know, we're going to always be wearing our shirts. Stop by and say hello. And we might have some merch on us to hand out as well to everybody. So really looking forward to all those events and still chugging away, working at getting everybody tuned and supported, and here to chat with you guys on performance and future modifications that you guys want to do. So just want to say thank you.
See you guys soon. Bye.